The Greater Himalayas, an adobe of snow, was lifted by the subduction of the Indian tectonic plate under the Eurasian plate. The Himalayas extend for over 2,400 kilometers, from the Indus River in Pakistan to the Brahmaputra River in Assam, India. The central section of the Himalayas traverses through Nepal, providing 8 mountains over 8,000 meters out of 14 in the world. The Himalayas has created a vast tourism industry in Nepal and has had a major impact on the economy of the country. People have been climbing mountains and peaks from since way back in 1492. Back in the day, most of the peaks were climbed as military exercise or for religious purposes. After the ascent of Mont Blanc in France in 1786, it is often referred to as the start of the modern era in climbing and mountaineering. In 1800, a few other famous peaks were summited, like Mount Elbrus in 1874, Mount Kilimanjaro in 1889, and Mount Aconcagua in 1897. After the successful ascent of Mount Matterhorn in 1855, it is believed to be the starting of the golden mountaineering era. From 1892, mountaineering became a sport and modernized. In 1892, mountaineers explored the Karakoram and the western Himalayas and became aware of the magnificent peaks of the Himalayas. In 1920, the British organized the first expedition to the top of the world. Since then, the Nepalese have been involved in the climbing profession. After the first ascent of Mount Annapurna in 1950 by a French group, Maurice Herzog and Louis Lachenal, and Nepalese climber Mr. Ang Gyaljen Sherpa, history was made with 8,000-meter mountains. Nepalese climbers have been contributing to the success of many expeditions since 1920, although for most of the Nepalese climbers, recognition has been hidden. The Nepalese have been supporting the expeditions from ground level to technical aspects like logistics, team arrangement, and climbing. In May 29, 1953, the first 2 humans stepped on the top of the world. It was Sir Edmund Hillary and Sen Tenzing Norgay Sherpa. This legend changed the history of climbing in the Himalayas and also the life of the Sherpas and climbers all over the world. The decade between 1950 and 1960 was the golden age of Himalayan mountaineering history. All major 8,000-meter mountains had been conquered during this period. Many expeditions were carried off in different parts of the world, looking for records and beautiful mountains to climb. Nepalese climbers also gained popularity in big mountains and high altitudes. All the expeditions led in the Himalayas had the Sherpas as support climber and assistants. There are 14 mountains above 8,000 meters and popularly known as the 14.8K. Everest, K2, also known as Godwin Austen, Kanchenjunga, Lhotse, Makalu, Choyu, Dhaulagiri, Manaslu, Nanga Parbat, Annapurna, Gasherbrum 1, Broad Peak, Gasherbrum 2, and Shishapang. After the successful ascent of all the 14 mountains above 8,000 meters, mountaineers' interest for high mountains increased. From the 1980s, there were frequent expeditions to 8,000-meter mountains. Guides like Scott Fisher and Rob Hall have been operating commercial expeditions and have changed the climbing culture in such high peaks. Many Nepalese climbers also gained new records in the mountains after the proper introduction of commercial expeditions. Ales Kunevar, the great expedition leader from Slovenia, is also regarded as the father of Nepalese mountaineering. Ales first traveled to Nepal in 1973 as a leader of a Yugoslav expedition team. During his expedition in Nepal, he saw the importance of a climbing school for Nepalese climbers. Many Nepalese have lost their lives in the mountain since 1922. If climbing Everest is an expedition, training Nepalese mountaineers is a mission, were his exact words. In close supervision and with support from Nepal Mountaineering Association, Alice was able to start the first school for Nepalese mountaineers in Manang district, Annapurna region. The school is under NMA supervision and is still running to date. More than 1,000 mountaineers have gained training from NMA and have been practicing healthy mountaineering professionalism. Nepal Mountaineering Association was established in 1973 under the formation of Kumar Khadga Shah. In 1976, NMA became a member of the Union International Alpine Association. From 1980, many Nepalese obtained mountaineering training, and NMA has been a very active participant in giving training. NMA provided basic mountaineering training in cooperation with Alpine Association of Slovenia, and from 1981, advanced mountaineering training in cooperation with National School of Ski and Alpinism, France. At the same time, Yves Paulet-Villard and Jean Coudray from France also showed their huge support in training Nepalese climbers. 1980 can be regarded as the beginning of a golden era for the Nepalese climber. From 1982 to 2006, more than 36 mountaineers got their training from France in close support with Yves Paulet-Villard and ENSA. After the death of Yves Paulet-Villard, a foundation was established in his name to help provide training for Nepalese climbers. Jean Coudray still provides strong support towards Nepalese climbers and in developing climbing culture in Nepal. Nepalese mountaineers trained in France in support from NMA, ENSA, YPVF became aware of what they were and what they represented, and rightly so. They felt a part of the mission was to organize training in Nepal. At the same time, they thought of improving their own level in order to reach the level of guide recognized by UIAGM, the supreme certification. Then, in 2001, Nepal Mountaineering Instructor Association was set up and became the exclusive partner of Foundation Yves Paulet-Villard. The hopes rest on this association, as thanks to its members, it alone can continue to develop the existing training, and it alone can promote new training avenues. NMIA has more than 25 qualified instructors, contributing to the development of skilled mountaineers and climbers at present. Several other trainings associated to mountaineering are also provided by NMIA with support from NMA. Navigatory, introductory climbing course, rescue trainings are a few other training programs run by NMIA. The idea of moving towards a Nepalese mountain guide exam was slowly taking shape and becoming a real possibility. The people concerned were convinced, but they saw that they had a long way to go. In 2005, the Nepal National Mountain Guide Association was established under the leadership of late Imam Gurung, founder-president. nnmga was chosen by UIAGM to become one day the association of guides capable of integrating into its ranks. It is true that without the leverage and support of Claude Ray, then president of UIAGM, a firm believer in Nepali mountaineers, this recognition was far from being realized. In the same way, Bruno Pellissier is all in favor and pushes towards integration into UIAGM. In 2005, nnmga submitted the application to UIAGM to be a candidate country. The UIAGM annual general meeting, held in 2006 in Nagoya City, Japan, approved nnmga application in becoming an applicant country. Since then, nnmga kept organizing international mountain guide formation jointly with NMA under supervision of France. After 7 years of being an applicant country, on the 3rd of May 2012, UIAGM annual general meeting held in France approved guide education standard of nnmga in becoming an IFMGA member. In May 9, 2012, DACAM was conducted with nnmga member guides and CTVT to integrate nnmga under National Skill Testing Board. aspirant guide course has been standardized by Nepal Skill Testing Board. nnmga guides are experts working actively in climbing, mountaineering, and mountain rescue activities. In 1965, in Zermatt, Switzerland, representatives of the mountain guide associations from Italy, France, Australia, and Switzerland decided to lay the foundations for an international federation of an all mountain guide association. The association was founded for the adjustment of the laws of the mountain guide by promoting a uniform professional training as far as possible in order to facilitate the practice of mountain guide occupation abroad, then issuing a common international document of identification. Also to give an arbitrary tribunal that has advisory functions and serves as mediator in cases of issue between members and third parties. Nepal National Mountain Guide Association believes in bringing the standard of Nepalese mountain guides to international standard, with an objective to unite manpower in mountaineering profession and develop their standard activities in mountaineering to provide additional economic support to the nation. Considering the criteria of UIAGM, this association, in coordination with the concerned line agencies and different organizations, is committed to conduct trainings and to produce trained manpower, quality service, and minimize risks related to mountaineering.